Welcome to the Over 40 Alpha Podcast with your host, Funk Roberts.
We are live, and welcome to the Over 40 Alpha Podcast. This is episode number 136, and I'm your host, Funk Roberts, former professional athlete turned online fitness expert, supplementation expert, and an expert in helping men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s completely transform their lives, their health, and their bodies. Yeah, that's right. I said expert because time and time again, you see in the Over 40 Alpha Brotherhood, which you can join for $1, these men transforming their lives. In fact, if you go to over40alpha.com/proof and you scroll for the 30, 40, 50 minutes, all you're going to see and all you're going to read and all you're going to hear are incredible testimonials, not just from me. I'm talking from the guys who are in the trenches, putting in the work, transforming their lifestyle to eat healthy, to sleep healthy, to focus on recovery, mobility, yoga, things that they never used to do, workout, never missing a workout, 3 to 4 days a week, 20 to 30 minutes, getting those ab and core finishers done, focusing on their warm up and their stretch, making sure that they have a balanced plate meal with a source of carb, a source of healthy fat, a source of protein, a source of vegetables and fruits so that they can naturally increase their testosterone. They focus on their mindset, accountability, meditation, gratitude, and improving their knowledge in overall life in general, while they step up to be the provider, protector, and the procreator and the king of their kingdom, because that is our alpha purpose. And I see it on a daily basis. In fact, I see it so much that I feel like I'm an expert. I feel like I'm an expert, not because I'm putting together the programming, not because I've been doing this for, 6, 7, 8 years specifically for men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. None of those things really count because in the end, the proof is in the pudding. The depth and the breadth of any program are the results. And if I could have all the knowledge in the world, but if I can't transfer that knowledge into everyday guys who are struggling to get results, then I'm no good. And so truly, it's not me, it's them who are putting in the work. It's those guys who stand up to battle against the struggles that they've had, maybe the same struggles you have. And embracing the barriers, embracing the pillars, right? Mindset, recovery, sleep, nutrition, workouts. And today we're going to talk supplements. That's right. The 10 commandments of supplementation. In fact, there's more than 10. But we're going to dive into supplements. And in fact, what I'm doing right now is I'm going to take you into one of our coaching calls. In fact, last week when I did this, I got such incredible feedback that I'm like, you know what? This was another good coaching call. In fact, this was like a special coaching call outside of the Friday coaching calls, live coaching calls that we have every single Friday, 9 a.m. inside the Brotherhood. This was a nighttime coaching call based on supplementation and giving them the best supplements for men over 40. And I wasn't just touting my own supplements because you gosh damn bet I got my own supplements. Why? Because I use supplements. I need supplements. I want to create my own supplements because I don't trust a lot of the supplements that are out there. But I also want to ensure that these supplements can be used and are high quality for the guys inside my brotherhood, the guys who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and late 30s who are trying to optimize their health, improve their testosterone and balance their hormones, lose belly fat, lose weight, build muscle, improve their energy levels, and just making sure that they're running on high octane, right? These guys are high octane men, 15,000 plus. And so, yeah, you're damn right I have supplements because guys kept asking me, hey, what protein should I use? Hey, what omega-3 supplement should I use? Hey, what multivitamin should I use? Hey, what BCAA should I use? Hey, what magnesium should I use? I don't know. Why don't I create high quality ones and you can use mine with my name on it, with my face on it, and with my reputation on it. So today, I'm going to take you behind the scenes of one of our coaching calls where I talked about the top 10 to 15 supplements, why you should use them, why they're effective, how to use them, and just again, knowledge is power, right? Am I pushing all of my supplements during this coaching call? Actually, I don't even remember, but I'm pushing it now. If you go to funksupplementshop.com or funksupplements.com, use code podcast15, you're going to get alpha, you're going to get protein. In fact, I'm not going to tell you. You can just go and see, but I want you to listen to this episode so you can learn why you need certain supplements, why I think you need certain supplements, how they are going to affect us as we get older. And once again, man, whenever I do these things, I can honestly and truly say that this is not just coming from a science or research or what the fad is online or what this person said or this doctor said or this podcast expert said. I don't care really about what they say, because in the end, I only work on the results that my program gets, that I'm seeing, the struggles that I see every day, the results we get from our supplements. And because generally speaking, as you're going to learn, I make these supplements really for me. Like, if I don't have protein, I couldn't get protein. So we created our own protein with exactly what we wanted inside our protein. Yes, it's expensive to create, and no, we don't make money on it. But I know that I have myself, my wife, my son, my mother, they use all of my supplements. My sister, everyone in my family uses my supplements. So if it's good enough for them, good enough for me, then it's good enough for the brothers. And every time they use it, and the testimonials and the feedback that we get is positive, it's exciting. And so that's why I love creating high quality supplements. So if you go to funksupplements.com, funksupplements.com, podcast 15, you're going to get 15% off. Podcast 15, you're going to get 15% off your purchase when you check out. And with that, I want you to check out this podcast episode, and I'll see you on the other side. Welcome to this special edition of our live coaching call. Now, just to let you guys know, we're still having our coaching call on Friday, on Good Friday, but I wanted to do something special. I wanted to talk about supplements for men over 40, just to celebrate the relaunch of some of our top supplements in the Funk Supplements ecosystem. And, I'm going to premise this by letting you know, of course, because there's people here who are probably listening to this or who are new that don't know that I have a supplement site, right? Funk Supplements. And the reason why, as you can see in the back there, I understand the importance of supplementation, specifically as we get older. And Andy T is on this call as well. And if you guys know our history, we created Lean Pro 30 way back in the day as a supplement for men, a protein, grass-fed, high quality, lactose-free, stevia sweetened. And the reason why we did that was because I was having problems finding a protein powder that I could use. And literally I went a whole year without protein. And I used to have bottles of protein just filled because I would try it and then I would either bloat or I'd have I'd be constipated, or I would gain fat, or I'd get a headache after. Like, it was a horrible, what up, Anthony? It was a horrible experience. But I also realized that I wasn't getting enough protein. Like, I went a full year and I'm like, listen, we have to get protein in this house. I was talking to Angela. And so I reached out to Andy, actually, because I know Andy has had supplement background, and together we created the Lean Pro 30, which back in when we created was the best, highest quality protein powder on the market. We had BC 30 in there, which helped with shuffling the protein to where it needed to go, protein synthesis. And then that was very, very expensive. But throughout that process, I started the over 40 brotherhood. And I started to realize, that I'm using supplements as we get older. It's extremely important as we get older. You remember, there's a lot of physiological changes that are happening to us as we get older, right? So let's break this down. I always like to go through this for repetition, but for those of you who are new, this could be an aha moment for you as to why you may feel the way you feel. So number one, we suffer from sarcopenia, which is a natural loss of muscle due to aging. This is so important for us to understand because sarcopenia starts at 35. So we start losing muscle naturally at the age of 35. It just starts to happen. And if we're not actively working out, and when I say actively, I'm not talking about, oh yeah, I go to the gym once in a while, or yeah, I was going to the gym and I stopped. I'm talking like if you're inside the Brotherhood and you're doing any of the over 40 Alpha Brotherhood programs or phases, that is what consistent workout is. And if you have not been doing that or weren't doing that, 35 to 40, you're losing 3 to 8%, then 40 to 50, 50 to 60, another 3 to 8 every decade. And then as you get 60 and above, it starts to accelerate. So now it's like 10, 20% of your muscle. Muscle is the key to longevity. Muscle is the key to metabolic health. Muscle is the key to strength. It's the key to ensuring that you don't suffer from chronic health issues, that you don't get injured. Like, it is unequivocally is the most important thing as we get older, because we're already up against the wall. So building muscle is one thing that we have to ensure that we're doing as we're getting older. Sarcopenia happening. Number 2, our testosterone levels naturally decrease 1 to 2% per year after the age of 30. So once again, if you have not been living a life that naturally increases your testosterone like we do in this program, 30s to 40s, low testosterone, 40s to 50s, 50s to 60s, and so on. So many guys who are coming into this program testosterone levels are the lowest they've ever been in modern day history. And this is not even for men over 40 now. This is now all ages, which is insane, knowing that we have so much advancements in technology and in the medical and technology and just knowledge in general in regards to health. How the hell are men have the lowest testosterone, and we're 25% high, 25% of men have higher estrogen levels. So estrogen is a female hormone, which we need a little bit of, right? We do need estrogen to balance our hormones and also for sexual health. But when our estrogen levels are too high, testosterone levels are low. And so, and estrogen is a female hormone. So if you have too much estrogen, naturally you're going to have a lot of female characteristics like man boobs. You're going to have a big belly because estrogen also causes belly fat storage. And of course, like I mentioned before, you're going to have your hormone levels are going to be out of whack. And we don't want female hormones to overtake us, right? Our goal here is to provide, protect, procreate, and regain our alpha manhood. But when you have too much estrogen and not enough testosterone, that also equates to a higher incidence of obesity, of type 2 diabetes, and of other chronic health issues that we do not want to be suffering as we get older. So that's number 2, testosterone. We have to naturally increase testosterone. Plus, testosterone's everything for us, guys. It's our mojo, it's our manhood, it's our fat loss, muscle growth, libido, mental health. Like most men who have mental health issues, again, mental health is there's a lot of nuances to mental health, but many men who have have mental health issues have sleep issues and low testosterone. Yes, exactly. Prostate health, 100%. There's so much that happens for us, manhood, confidence, energy, mood, that we have to be focused on naturally increasing our T levels. Okay, so that's 2. The third one is the metabolism, right? Our metabolism starts to slow down. And this isn't really a physiological thing as it is more a lifestyle, right? Because when we reach 30, probably, you've got kids, you're focusing on your career, you're not as consistent working out, you're really trying to move up in the corporate ladder, building a family. So you're not really focusing on consistently working out. And also people try all these different diets, right? So now you're damaging your metabolism by going on these restrictive diets. So let me do keto, let me do vegan, let me do freaking paleo, let me do one a day, let me do this, let me do that, low carb, low fat, like all these stupid ass diet plans that are restrictive and are unsustainable and don't work, period. They work for a little bit, but they don't work for us, because we have other things, like I just explained to you, that we are up against. So, along with the fourth, which would be our chronic health issues, like prostate cancer. What up, Abe? Good to see you. Prostate cancer, colon cancer, high blood pressure, cholesterol, an array, man. There's just so many diabetes, all of these things that kind of creep up because we're not living a healthy lifestyle. And the incidence of those things as we get older start to become more prevalent. So with all of these things happening, nutrition, absolutely important. Working out and making sure that you're building muscle, resistance training, the right type of resistance training on a regular basis consistently is important because you guys know, like, firsthand that even if you did an awesome year or an awesome 18 months of training and you got in a great shape and you're in your 40s and then you fell off for whatever reason, even 2, 3 months, you guys know how fast you go back to where you were. This isn't something where, like, okay, I built my, like, for me, like, okay, I'll take me for instance. If I stop working out, this will turn to mush in like 2 to 3 months. Easy. Not even a question. Not even a question. Because sarcopenia, as I've mentioned in the past, sits in the corner waiting for us. All of the chronic health issues are just sitting there waiting, right? We can't get away with the things that we used to. So working out, nutrition, of course, we have recovery, right? So we talk about recovery, not just recovery has two, right? There's two kind of mechanisms in the recovery realm. There's physical recovery, right? So are we doing our mobility? Are we doing our yoga? Are we doing our Pilates? Range of motion stretching to ensure that we don't get injured, right? We don't want to be injured. We want to recover fast because we don't recover as fast as we get older. And number two, sleep, which I just did a podcast with a sleep coach expert. I cannot wait for you guys to listen to that, and we'll talk about sleep. But sleep is like number one. I mean, they're all number one as far as I'm concerned. They're all equal. And then the fifth pillar is mindset. Sanjay mentioned that. I mean, it all starts with your why, right? It all starts with the mindset, because if you don't have a strong enough why, you guys know that as you're getting older, it's very easy to kind of push your own health aside for everything else. Like, oh, well, this happened to me, and I changed my job, and this person died in my family, and this happened, and blah, 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 and all this bullshit that everyone puts in front of themselves. And yes, it's bullshit that everyone puts in front of themselves, because as you guys know, the only way you should not be working out, or the only way that you should not continue a healthy lifestyle, is if it's on your deathbed. If you're on your deathbed, I'll give you a pass. But other than that, I don't give a shit what's going on in your life. You are your number one. You're the number one person you should need to take care of, because if you're not healthy, if you're not getting sleep, if you're not training, if you're not eating the right foods and staying away from the shitty foods, if you're not optimizing your testosterone levels, if you're not doing those things, then you're no good to anybody. You're only fooling yourself. You're no good to your family. You're no good to your community. You're no good to people at work. And you goddamn know that every time you look in the mirror, you're not good to yourself. So with those 5 pillars that are happening right now, what up, Cal? There's one last pillar that kind of that we need to sprinkle in to ensure that we have a holistic, I don't like using that word, but a holistic, healthy lifestyle, and that's supplementation. And so I'm going to dive into what I think what the 10 best supplements for men over 40 are. I've been in this industry for a long time. These are supplements that I take. Or actually, there's a couple I don't, but these are supplements that I take. And again, just as a warrant, just to let you know, I do have a supplement company, but the reason why I have the supplement company was to create supplements for you guys. Actually, I back up, to create supplements for me, to tell you the truth, because I don't trust any of the other supplements out there. I'd rather create my own supplements that I know that we're going to use. If you go downstairs or if you look up here, our house is riddled with supplements, good, healthy supplements that we use on a daily basis. My wife and I, my mom uses some of our supplements. My family uses supplements. I don't make anything that I would never use. So I just wanted to put that out there. That is the reason why. And then, of course, the other reason is because you guys need supplementation. I know the importance of it. And if you're coming to me saying, hey, Funk, what's a good multivitamin? What's a good this? What's a good that? Well, I know that A, you're looking for supplementation, which is great. And B, I don't have time to look for other supplements, but what we do have time for is creating high quality supplements for you guys to use. So I just wanted to premise this whole thing. And also, we just relaunched our supplements. March 20 is our 20% off code. You can go into funksupplements.com if you're looking for supplements, or if you listen to this and kind of like, okay, now I understand why I need this, why I need that, why I need this. Go in there, 20% off. It's a sale that's going to end on March 31st. And then just to give you another warning, we are increasing the prices of our supplements just, because we have to increase. There's logistics stuff happening. The price of ingredients are going up. And if you do know us, we create our supplements from scratch. Like we're not, we create high quality supplements. So take advantage, because you're never going to get 20% off the way you are now. But anyways, I digress. Let's get to what I think the best supplements are. I'm going to say why I think, and again, hold your questions, because at this point, I'm not really going to be able to see what your questions are. So hold them to the end. I will 100% write them down, but also get a pen and paper and write down some of the things that I talk about. And if you're not using these supplements, ask yourself why. So the first one is a multivitamin. And this one always gets pushed back and forth. Like, some people will say you don't need multivitamins. Some people do. I just want to also say, guys, if you're listening to other people online, in magazines, Instagram, what have you, and they're talking about supplementation and why you need to use it and why not, please make sure that the person who you're listening to is talking to you, meaning men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Because when you're following somebody who is 20 talking about supplements, or if you're following a woman who has menopause talking about supplements, or if you're following someone like Joe Rogan, we love Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan's on a different level in regards to what he's doing with his body and what he does. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm going to listen to someone who understands men over 40, understands our physiological changes, what's happening. And then I'm going to listen a little bit more about what research they're providing and things that they're talking about, and see if it aligns. Because there are people who will tell you don't need multivitamins. 100%. There's tons of guys who will say, well, you don't really need multivitamins. You're going to get it in your food. You're going to get it in this. You're going to get it in that. I'm almost positive, though, that the narrative has changed back to 100% we need multivitamins. And the reason why is our soil, the soil that we grow our food on, specifically here in North America, is getting more and more damaged. And so getting the multivitamins, the vitamins and minerals, the micronutrients that are so important for everything, right? Like micronutrients and multivitamins have all of these, the vitamin B's and the zinc and and vitamin D and vitamin C and all of the micronutrients that will help with our entire overall health, right? Because again, remember, we want to reduce the risk of cancer. We want to compensate for any dietary deficiencies that we may have. Because again, with the food not the same quality as we used to, like I've mentioned in the past, like broccoli back in the 70s, when all of us were in we're like, in our early teens, or when we were like 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 years old, and we ate some broccoli or we ate some fruit, the quality of that food was much more nutrient dense than it is today. Much more than it is today. And so as much as we're still getting these foods in, we don't know where that came from, what soil that was grown in, what farm is on, what they're putting on it, if it's actually if we're getting all the nutrients that we need to be getting from that food. So again, our margin of error when it comes to health is here. Like we can't eat the same way we used to. We can't work out the same way. We can't neglect things that we used to and expect us to just bounce back. You guys know this. Like you guys know how you feel and how you don't feel when you work out or you don't work out, or, you're not getting enough sleep or you're getting injured. And a lot of times it's because we are treating our bodies and are treating our life like we were in our 20s and 30s. And again, we're neglecting the number one thing, which is us. So filling nutritional gaps that will help with our immune system, that'll help with our overall health, is what multivitamins will help with. It will also help with digestion, right? Like, so ensuring that the foods that you're eating are getting digested efficiently. So because of all of those vitamins, minerals, and micronutrients that play a role in our overall health. But not every multivitamin is the same, right? Like, I remember back in the day, I can't even remember, Centrum, I think it was called Centrum. And I remember when I went for my personal training certification course, and we were talking about supplements at this point. This is many, this is like 30 years ago. And so the nutrition teacher at the time was talking about supplements, and she pulled out Centrum. And she's like, this is a multivitamin. It's on TV all the time. Back in the day, that was the ad, Centrum, 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 Centrum. And she put it into the oven, right? Because Centrum was a hard shelled like a hard shelled pill, and she put it in the oven and it burnt up. And she's like, this is why Centrum is the worst multivitamin. Look at what heating it up does. And so it was kind of like, that was a aha moment for me to say, okay, not all supplements are equal. And that was an aha moment for me, because I was actually taking Centrum at that time, because that's all that I saw on TV. I didn't know any better. But realizing that was the first kind of like, okay, I got to do a little bit more digging when I look for multivitamin, or sorry, when I look for supplements in general. And that was like 30 years ago. So the point I'm trying to make is, you want to make sure that you're looking for a high quality multivitamin, right? Something that's, I mean, you're gonna, I don't even know if they have multivitamin ads anymore. That's so ancient. But you want to look for something that's high quality. Now, so a multivitamin is a multivitamin, right? Like, when it comes down to what's in multivitamins, it's not like, okay, well, what should I look for in my multivitamin? Well, whatever multivitamin you get, whether it's the shitty brand or the good brand, what's going to set it apart is they're all probably going to have the same ingredients. It's just the quality of the ingredients, right? Like, okay, is this one fillers? Is this one low quality? Is this one cheap? Or is this one going to actually start to fill the nutritional gaps that I may have? Right? So, multivitamin, you want to look for a high quality multivitamin, that again is an important thing for deficiencies, but also, again, making sure that you're getting those micronutrients. Of course, you're going to get it from food. Remember, food and, everything else is trumps all of this. But when it comes to your own health, when it comes to decreasing potential risks of cancer and, other specifically your immune system as well. We just went through something 2 years ago that showed that people who were deficient in certain ingredients and supplements and micronutrients and vitamins, etc., were more susceptible to getting, the virus and other things, and dying. Like, let's call a spade, and dying. Anyway, so multivitamins, that should be number one. Number two, vitamin D3. So that was one of the vitamins that was literally front and center. If you were paying attention during COVID, you know that vitamin D3, first of all, deficiency. So vitamin D3 is generally what we get from the sun. Right? It's very difficult to get it from food. And it's very difficult to get what we need from food, because most people are deficient of vitamin D. Okay? And vitamin D is a sunshine vitamin. You get it from the sun. And actually, in order to even get enough from the sun, you literally have to go outside, shirt off, hat off, and sit in the sun for 20 minutes, 15 minutes. You're not going to get skin cancer from sitting in the sun for 15 to 20 minutes. In fact, there has been some new studies, I'm not even going to go that deep, but talking about skin cancer and other things, and how it's not caused by what we used to think when people used to get skin cancer for being in the sun too long. But anyways, that's a whole other thing. There are stuff out there. There's research out there, new research, because remember, research is always getting updated. But I digress. Vitamin D, we always want to get as much from the sun, but unfortunately, when you live in countries that doesn't have enough sun, like in Canada or North America, or you live in countries where it's 24-hour darkness sometimes in the year, we need vitamin D3 every single day. And the thing about vitamin D3 is it helps increase our immune system. It helps with cardiovascular health. And one of the biggest things that helps us naturally increase our testosterone levels. And so vitamin D3 being super, super important. And as I mentioned earlier, most people are deficient in vitamin D. And that came to light during COVID. Most people are deficient. We don't get enough. And again, if you're living in countries like in North America, or where you do have different seasons, or you're not getting out enough, it's not good. Yeah, 10,000 IU exactly. I used to be at 5,000 IUs of vitamin D3, but even Angela and I, I'm like, we got to double it up. We got to double up because we just had here in Toronto anyway, in Ontario, I think in January, I believe it was, we had like no sun. I think like 2 days of sun. It's insane. So like, and so when you're put in that situation, understanding that most of us are probably deficient. And again, before we continue, one of the ways to find if you're deficient in any of these things is getting blood markers, right? Like going to the doctor, getting full panels, getting your testosterone, your hormones, your prostate, and your estrogen levels, your vitamin D3, cortisol, all of those things, right? When you're going to the doctor, get the full panel, the full blood panel. But you'll know, okay, I'm deficient in vitamin D3. But you know what? Most of us are, unless you live in Florida and it's sunny all the time, or California where it's sunny most of the time, or any of those states or any other countries in the world where there's a lot of sun. Remember, this is not like, oh, well, I live in Thailand and it's really sunny most of the times, but then don't forget there's a rainy season in Thailand. So it's like, the reason why I say that is because people have said, oh, I live in Thailand, it's hot. It's like, yeah, but 3 months of the year, it's raining every day, all day, nonstop. Like, this isn't about shortcuts. This is life or death. Okay, this isn't, I go to the sun sometimes, or I get this is life or death for us, guys. Like, we need to be optimizing our bodies along with everything else we do. And the other thing is, if you're working out on a regular basis, you're going to need more of these vitamins, minerals, micronutrients, and things that are on this list. You're going to need more because you're not just a regular guy sitting on a couch watching Netflix or TV or doing whatever. You're an active person. You are an active person both with your health and workouts, etc., and most likely at work, because when you're healthy, then you're going to perform better at work. And when you're performing better at work, that means you're going to be putting in more situations where you're going to need to be focused. You're going to need to be healthy. You don't want to be sick. You don't want to miss work. You want to be reliable. You want to be able to be with your kids and your family. You don't want to be sitting in a bed because you have heart disease or you have diabetes, and something that you could have prevented by focusing on your health. Now you're in the hospital in a bed and your family has to come and see you. Like, I remember when Andrew Bolotis came to see me when I was in the hospital, I felt horrible. I felt useless because I'm like, man, I'm sitting here, and I mean, I love that he came to see me, but the point I'm trying to make is, like, we need to be providing, protecting, and procreating for our family. The last thing we want is our family having to take the burden of our own health that we could have prevented being healthier. So don't take this lightly when I'm talking about these things. Like, really and truly ensure that, you're getting your vitamin D3, crucial for bone health, crucial for immune function. If you're always getting sick and you're always getting run down, the final kind of like piece of the pillar, the final pillar is supplementation. When you start getting supplementation, you're starting to plug the holes that may be causing you to get sick all the time, maybe just because you're got more stress going on, or maybe because you're starting a new workout program that puts a lot of stress on the body. Maybe you're not getting good nutrition, even though you're eating the right foods. It's still not giving you what you need. Like that, those are things that should be going around your head when you're thinking about supplementation. Not just, oh, here's supplements, I got to take them. No, each supplement has its role. And vitamin D3, because we don't get enough of it, has a very important role. And it's not just about what I talked about with bone health and immune, but it's testosterone. Right, testosterone, and reducing risks of chronic disease, heart disease, diabetes, etc. So vitamin D3, and it's D3 that you want to be going for. And just another caveat with vitamin D3, there's also a vitamin which is K2, which is kind of it's a calcium vitamin, right? And when you combine vitamin D3 and K2 together, it's like a 1-2 punch. They work synergistically together, right? So you get much better results from combining vitamin D3 and K2. And most supplements, good quality supplements will have vitamin D3 and K2. It's like the Batman and Robin, like they work that well together in order to help, of course, bone health, calcium, and your immune, etc. That vitamin D3 helps you with. So again, vitamin D3, and it's D3 that you want. But if you compare that with vitamin D3 K2, you're golden. You're golden. And yeah, like 5,000 IUs per day at least. But man, Sanjay's right, man. You want to go 10K now, man. 10K. Because again, more studies coming out to say, oh, you can actually increase, and we should be increasing because our bodies will absorb. Exactly. K2 helps absorb D3. Sanjay, you should be sitting right here beside me, brother. Okay. Next up. So that's number 2. Number 3, this is another huge one. Omega-3 fatty acids, omega-3 fish oils. This is massive. And the reason why is not only for cardio health, not only for immune, not only for cognition, and reduces inflammation. But here's the thing with omega-3s. So omega-3 is a fatty acid that we get from fish, from flax seeds, from like chia seeds and hemp seeds. And well, we don't eat flax seeds, but the seeds, walnuts. Again, the thing about omega-3s is we are just like vitamin D3. Most of us are deficient of omega-3. And so here's the thing. Omega-3 is like I said, mentioned, is great for inflammation reduction, great for cardiovascular health. We're getting it from healthy fats, of course. But again, we're not getting enough, right? And what, on the flip side, there's something called omega-6. So there's omega-3s, which are super, super important, than omega-6. Omega-6 fatty acids are prevalent in processed foods, vegetable oils, and other nuts and seeds. And the problem is we're supposed to be 1-to-1 or 4-to-1 omega-6 to omega-3, because we do need some omega-6s. It is important for brain health. It is important for bone health. It is important for regulating your metabolism. So omega-6 is important. But remember, I just talked about finding those in processed foods, vegetable oils, and some good nuts. But the problem is we're supposed to be either 1-to-1 omega-6 to omega-3, or even 4-to-1 omega-6 to omega-3 in some cases. But most of the times, and most people, and I'm talking most people's ratio, is 15 or 20-to-1. That's 15 to 20 omega-6s to 1 omega-3. And that is killer. I can't, there's no other way to put it. Like, when it comes to increased chances of chronic health issues, when it comes to more inflammation, when it comes to just that fogginess in the brain, there's a disconnect, a massive disconnect. And so what we need to do is we need to turn that around by adding more omega-3s. The problem is not a lot of people eat a lot of fish, and you're not going to get that much omega-3s when you're eating chia seeds and hemp seeds and all of those things. Walnuts, because walnuts are also have a lot of calories, so you're not going to take a massive, a handful of walnuts and pile it in, because you're just going to be adding way too many calories. So supplementing with omega-3s is a non-negotiable. We're just not getting enough. And the importance of omega-3s on our entire system, our body, our health, is Yeah, I mean, when you have too many omega-6s, you have too much inflammation. But the other things that happen is the chronic disease, the cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity, metabolic syndrome, irritable bowel syndrome, rheumatoid arthritis, and a lot of neurodegenerative diseases, right? I had someone on our podcast talking about Alzheimer's, and it's crucial. It's crucial. And so many of us have it. So how do we get more omega-3s? Well, taking omega-3, taking a good quality omega-3 fatty acids. Of course, in our program, we're already eating healthy fats, right? And listen, I love fish. I eat a lot of sashimi, but I don't eat enough to say that, oh yeah, I get enough. Like, you got to be eating fish all the time, every day. And not all of us do. Some people do, 100%. Some people, they do that, but most of us don't. And again, we don't want to be playing around with our health here, because we're moving into the times where, even if we're eating super healthy, those chronic health issues, man, they're ruthless sometimes. They're ruthless. So omega-3 is important. It's something that we all should be supplementing with. If you're not supplementing with, omega-3 is key. Next up would be magnesium. So magnesium, again, is another one of those supplements where most people are deficient, right? But magnesium is a mineral that is crucial for over 300 biochemical reactions that happen inside the body on a daily basis, like muscle, nerve, blood pressure, supporting our immune, and keeping our cortisol levels low. Remember at the beginning I talked about testosterone and optimizing your testosterone naturally? Well, there are hormones that are the enemies of testosterone. So too much estrogen, right? A little bit of estrogen we need. Too much estrogen is an enemy of testosterone. When your estrogen levels are high, your T levels are low, period. Chronic cortisol. So we do need cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone. Okay, so we do need it. Like right now, my cortisol levels are high because I'm being focused. It's like the fight or flight hormone. But most people have chronic cortisol, right? So if you're working out every single day, if you have a high stress job, if you come home to a high stress environment, if you don't take care of your mental and mental health and self health, like, then your cortisol levels are going to be constantly high. And not only is it going to keep your testosterone levels down, but when your cortisol levels are high, we're talking heart attacks. We're talking visceral belly fat, which is the fat around your liver, the killer fat, the fat that kills you, basically. Insulin sensitivity is affected when you don't have enough magnesium. So here's the thing about magnesium. So it's very important. Plus, of course, testosterone levels, right? Testosterone level. Magnesium is one of those minerals that are very, very, very key to improving your testosterone levels. And we can get it naturally, 100%. Leafy greens, legumes, plants, a lot of things that are planted in the earth will provide a high quality amount of magnesium. But here's the problem again. And this is why in January when we started this challenge, I said to you guys, make sure that, and even to this day, make sure that one of your meals every day is a salad, lots of greens, spinach or kale or mixed greens. And there's a reason why I tell you guys that is because it's going to have the micronutrients like magnesium that will give you those nutrients that you need, along with, as you guys know, so much. Because not a lot of us eat salads. And I know that it's hard to eat salads every meal, or at least 2 meals. So I just say to you guys, listen, just 1 meal a day. That's it. If you want to have vegetables with the other meals or fruits or whatever the other meals, cool. But 1 meal a day, the importance of getting that. But here's the problem. I just told you guys about the soil. Remember when we talked about multivitamins? I talked about the soil and how the soil today is not the same as the soil 30 years ago. Well, magnesium comes from leafy greens, from legumes, and from plants, right? Mostly that are in the soil. So once again, are we even getting the magnesium that our bodies need just by eating the salads? Of course, the salads will come with many more micronutrients, but I'm just telling you, and just be aware of that, which is why most people are deficient in magnesium. Here's the other problem about magnesium. Magnesium comes in so many different forms. There's magnesium citrate, there's magnesium glycinate, there's magnesium oxide, there's magnesium freaking chloride, there's magnesium malate, there's magnesium taurite. Like there's different types of magnesium, and each type of magnesium does something different. So what happens in the supplement world is you're going, oh yeah, so I need magnesium. I'm deficient in magnesium, so I'm going to go get a magnesium supplement. And there's a lot of most magnesium supplements are either magnesium citrate or magnesium glycinate, or here's magnesium malate, or maybe two. And you may be getting the magnesium for sleep, let's say. Like that's the one you need help with sleep, because magnesium, one of the things that magnesium helps with is getting better sleep. So you may be going for magnesium that helps you with sleep. Meanwhile, because how are you supposed to know that there's, and I just rhymed off 6 or 7. There's so many different forms of magnesium. How are you supposed to know what magnesium you want for sleep? Because the person at the supplement store or at Walmart or wherever the hell you're getting your magnesium has no clue. Like we got magnesium. Yeah, we got magnesium citrate when you need magnesium glycinate because you want to sleep better. So there's so many different types of magnesium. Citrate being one that's great for your digestive system, right? So magnesium citrate is good for the digestive system, helping to absorb other foods and other nutrients. But glycinate that I talked about is great for sleep quality and managing stress. So keeping stress levels down, keeping anxiety down, right? A lot of this stuff is bioavailable too, but it's just we don't get enough. So magnesium oxide, for instance, is great for again for your belly fat, constipation, etc. Let me go down and see what I can quickly bring up here. Magnesium chloride, yes, for detoxing and kidney function and health. Malate for fatigue. So if you're always tired, like there's one for muscle, right? Magnesium that you would take if you get a lot of muscle cramps. So with all of that being said, the fact that you need magnesium malate for muscle. You want magnesium taurate for heart health. You want magnesium threonate for brain function, cognitive function. We know sleep and stress is glycinate. You got to make sure that when you're going for a magnesium supplement, what's up, Michael Harris? It's a combination. I used to have a combination supplement that had 6 of these. But I do know that there is, if you go to my Alpha podcast and go to episode number 29, the importance of, actually, I'll just post it in here. I'm going to post this here. So I used to have a magnesium that had, and I still have it left, and I still take it because I made it for this reason alone. I made this magnesium supplement that we don't have anymore, but I made it specifically because I know this, because I remember looking for magnesium for sleep, and I ended up taking a magnesium for muscle. So it's like something's not right here. So I created one that had a combination of 6 different types of magnesium, the 6 crucial ones. But I don't sell that anymore. But I do know that Wade, there's a link I just posted inside the Brotherhood. Inside the comments. That is an incredibly amazing magnesium. It's got 7 different magnesium types of magnesium in it, and I used to use it back in the day before I created my own. So if you are looking for something, no problem. Yeah, definitely. If you are looking for something, that's a good one. First, what I would do first is listen to that podcast episode. Yeah, this is the one. BioOptimizer. Thank you, David. BioOptimizers, I 100% certify it. I'm not getting paid for this right now, but it's a very, very, very high quality magnesium. It's been around forever. Like, I mean, when I first started this fitness thing, and I had Wade on my podcast, I think before even this one, I was an affiliate for it. So I used to sell it because I believed in it. I used it. But then when I got my own supplement company, I just created my own without one of the other ones that he had. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is get a magnesium supplement, but get a good one, something that has a combination. And so BioOptimizers, fantastic. But again, you may find another one somewhere else, and maybe in the future we'll bring back, our magnesium mag 6, in the future. But magnesium's key. Okay, let's go. Number 5 would be zinc. So I'm going to flip through these really quickly. Zinc is another one. I mean, zinc is essential for immune. It's essential for helping you recover from wounds. But let's talk hormones, right? Let's talk testosterone. Let's talk one of the minerals that help with testosterone production, right? A lot getting that zinc in. And so again, this is another one that a lot of people are deficient in. We don't get enough zinc. And so you can take a zinc supplement alone, but yeah, I know I loved my Mag 60. See, Chris, why did you say that? Now we got to bring it back. Chris Watson. I love it too, man. I take it every night. I take magnesium at night with Alpha Sleep and protein powder. Oh man, I feel bad. Okay, anyways, zinc. Yes, zinc is really, really, truly one of the essential specifically for us guys, right? Because again, we're trying to optimize our hormones. So along with immune, our hormones are key, right? That testosterone, and so zinc is one of the key ingredients. We do have zinc in our testosterone supplement, so there's that. But if you want to get your own zinc, or you maybe have zinc sitting in your supplement drawer and you haven't used it, but it's just been there for a while, start taking it. It's a phenomenal supplement for hormones, of course, our testosterone and other health benefits. So that would be zinc, number 5. Number 6, well, it's going to be whey protein. And again, this is not in any order of importance. I think everyone should be taking this kind of thing. And protein powder, 100%. I mean, there's not even a question. In fact, I listened to one of my old podcasts with Dr. D. She used to be in our podcasts all the time. And one of the podcast episodes that she talked about was the nutrients that and the nutrients that all men over 40 need that they're deficient in. Whey protein came up as one of them. And the research, she's a hormone specialist. The research that she went into was absolutely astounding. And there was things that I learned on that podcast episode that I didn't even realize the importance of what whey protein can do for us on an overall health level. But protein, again, whey protein, grass-fed whey protein is crucial because protein is the building blocks of our muscles, our bones, and the metabolic process that go in our bodies, inside of our bodies. And unfortunately, our bodies, we don't naturally produce protein. So we need to get it from an outside source. But we don't get enough, right? 1 gram of protein per pound. And again, in January, that was one of the things that I want you guys to kind of focus on is, am I getting enough protein every day? Because protein, like I said, building blocks, muscles, bones, metabolic processes go in our body. We're not getting enough. Whey protein is the highest on the biological value scale. So there's different types of protein. There's whey, there's soy, there's plant-based, there's all of these other shitty proteins. Okay. So in the end, there's all these shitty proteins that don't even come close to the biological value that whey protein has. In fact, whey is the highest in the biological value scale. Okay. So once again, we're not in the age where we can fuck around with even protein. Like, oh, well, what about soy protein? Or what about plant protein? Or what about hemp protein? Hey, we don't have time to fuck around with shitty protein. We got to focus on our high quality protein, the highest quality protein, because we need it for our muscles. We're fighting sarcopenia, and if we're not getting enough protein, let alone high quality protein, then we're just wasting money. And so getting that protein in, specifically when we're building muscle, is going to help us with muscle growth, repair, because remember, we're breaking down and tearing down muscle fibers in the gym. So when we're eating the foods that we eat, when we sleep, And protein specifically is important for protein synthesis, muscle repair after we tear it down. Like, you can work out I don't know every day, but let's say you go to the gym and you're training, right? You're getting your workouts in, you're feeling good, you're lifting, and you've been doing it for 2 months, and you're even increasing some of the weight because you're getting stronger, but your body's not changing. It's like, God damn it, I'm in the gym, I'm actually lifting, I'm feeling, okay, but I'm not feeling like I'm building any muscle. I just still feel kind of blah. Well, there's 3 reasons most likely that is. Number 1, you're not getting 7 to 9 hours sleep, because we break and tear down muscle fibers in the gym. So we're stimulating we're creating a catabolic environment. Okay, so because most people think that they're building muscle in the gym, they're building muscle at home when they're working out. That's not. We're actually creating a catabolic environment, which we need to, right? We need to break down our muscles so that our body can adapt, right? Our body's very smart, but adapts at certain times. It adapts and repairs our muscle at night when we're sleeping, getting high quality sleep. It does it with good nutrition. So feeding the body the micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals, the micronutrients, feeding the body the carbs, the complex carbs to help with recovery, feeding the body with the healthy fats that'll help with testosterone production, because testosterone helps with muscle growth and muscle repair. And of course, protein. But we need to get enough protein to help us and help that process. And so that's a third pillar really when it comes to building muscle that people don't get enough. If you're not getting enough sleep, but you're getting enough protein, you're not going to build muscle. If you're not getting enough, not eating properly, like, you can't out-train a bad diet, but you're still getting sleep, and you may get some protein, but you're not getting carbs. The other thing, you're not going to build muscle. If you're not getting any protein or enough protein, you're not going to build muscle. So here you are putting in the work, and what ends up happening is you start getting injured. You start getting pain. You get these like, why am I getting injured? Why am I in pain? Why am I sick? Why is this happening? It's because it's everything. Again, our margin of error is very, very small. And we don't need to be bodybuilders, but if you're putting in the work, you want to make sure that you're having, you want to make sure that you have everything else in place. And so like for Angela and I, for instance, we realized that we weren't getting enough protein. Like, and we eat 3 meals a day, and we're like, listen, we need to add a protein shake throughout the day. And so, yes, sometimes we have it after our workout, but that's not every day, right? We don't work out every day. So now we have it before we go to bed. We have our grass-fed whey protein, high quality, and I am also lactose free, because a lot of people say, well, I don't drink whey because I'm lactose intolerant. Well, that's why I created a high quality whey protein, because I'm also lactose intolerant, but my whey is lactose free, stevia sweetened, so there's no sugar, because again, going for that cheap protein, you're going to get cheap results, which means you're not going to get the results that you want to get from that protein that you're spending your money on. So you want to spend your money on a high quality protein, because stevia sweetened, lactose free, non-GMO, tastes good. And again, for Angela and I, we have protein at night, because we also know that protein is needed for building muscle, right? Repair. So we have it at night. Okay, of course, we have it throughout the day, but it's perfect. We have it at night, shake it up, drink it. It's perfect. And so we get it in. So whey protein, high quality, that's what you're looking for. Now, if you're like one of those guys who are like, okay, well, I have my whey protein, but I just want to like really optimize my muscle growth. So maybe I know whey protein's a fast digesting protein. What about casein protein? Casein protein's great. It's a slow digesting protein that most bodybuilders take at night. The problem is, A, we're not bodybuilders, and B, that just adds more money that you could be spending on multivitamins, omega-3s, and vitamin D3 and K2 when you really don't need casein protein, because again, there's so many proteins out there too, and that it can be very confusing. But once again, you got to listen to the people who are telling you if your wife is telling you to have pea protein or freaking plant protein, hey man, Your wife isn't an expert helping men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Your wife probably doesn't realize your testosterone levels are low. Your wife doesn't realize that you need high quality protein. Carl across the street who, like, hey man, I heard you should be drinking pea protein. But you look at Carl and Carl's like 100 pounds soaking wet, doesn't really go to the gym. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta think about who's telling you these things. And if anyone ever says, I hear that you should, out. And everyone says, I hear that you should be, where do you hear that from? I don't know, I just heard it. Dude, you could hear it on freaking City Pulse, City TV. Someone could have said it in passing. Someone, you could have kind of heard it on a TV show. Like, you have to do your due diligence, but you also have to think about who's telling you these things. Like, where are you getting this from? I don't know. I just heard it from somebody, but I heard it's supposed to be good. Nah, man. We don't do that kind of stuff. We don't listen to those people because they're just bringing you down the wrong way. Yeah, the source. It's all about the source, baby. It's all about the source. So, high quality protein is a must. So we have it. Go grab it. 20% off. Go grab it. There's a couple others out there. I don't really know too much about them, but you want to look for something that's grass-fed. You want to look for something that's stevia sweetened. You want to look for something that's non-GMO, gluten-free. You want to look for lactose-free, right? And just high quality. Like, you don't want fillers in there. Like, we don't want like BCAA. Well, there's amino acids, but we don't want like all of these fillers, because a lot of times supplement companies will be like, oh yeah, we have like, I don't know. Sometimes they put a whole bunch of shit inside protein. Like, oh, this is what I was gonna say to end off with protein. And I totally got scammed by this. So I'm going by experience. So, like, I don't even know if they do this anymore, but sometimes supplement companies will give you a protein. I'm just going to use protein, and they're saying like, oh, well, this is casein protein, it's whey protein, and it's, I don't know, protein concentrate, plant protein, and it's timing. It's timed release. So when you have this protein powder, it, with all of these different types of protein, it automatically releases the casein protein at night, the whey protein after your workouts, and whatever other protein during the day, which is impossible, right? But hey, back in the day, I fell for that. So it doesn't happen. So just be aware of all that stuff too, and don't make the same mistakes I did. Anyways, let's keep going. The next one is creatine. I mean, this is another one of those supplements that is a must. Now, here's the problem with creatine. So first, why creatine? Well, creatine, I mean, strength, muscle, recovery, brain health, and it is the, again, probably between creatine and I don't know what, there's another supplement out there, but I mean, creatine has been the most studied supplement that continues to come out pretty much 100% with the most positive results. Like, you're not going to find a negative research about creatine specifically as we get older, because we're suffering from sarcopenia. But there's a problem with creatine. There's a little problem with creatine. And the problem is, when most people start taking creatine, they're going to start to get bloated, right? Because creatine is going to shuttle all the water and the to your muscles, which is what it needs, right? So you do experience a little bit of bloating. Okay, you do experience a little bit of bloating. And so what that does to a lot of people is it plays mentally. If I'm in a program trying to like lose my belly fat, right? But now I know that I need to build muscle, I'm going to take creatine. And so, but at the very beginning, like the first month of you taking creatine, because your body's got to get used to this, right? Your body's got to get adapted to the fact that it's getting shuttled all this water. It's not used to being, getting all of this water to the muscle. So sometimes your body holds that water and you get that bloat, and you're feeling a little bloated, and you're feeling like, oh, I'm feeling heavier, and now I can't see my belly. And that plays with people. You got to go through it. It literally takes a month, 4 weeks to 6 weeks, and then you just keep taking it, and you'll see all of a sudden your body's going to get used to all of that water and all of the other things that happen when you start taking creatine. Also, you're going to be drinking more water, and then your body's going to adapt to it, and then you're not going to have that anymore. It's just going to be like, okay, great. I went through that period. Now, that I say 4 to 6 weeks, but that period can be 2 weeks for some people or 3 weeks for some people. And that's why you don't really need that loading week. A lot of people will talk about loading, right? Like, oh, let me take 10 grams of creatine a day or what have you. And some people do it, and they and the mindset behind that is getting it into the body as fast as possible and going through that process as fast as possible. And then, but again, everyone's different, right? So I can't just say like, oh yeah, that's what's going to happen to everybody. Everybody's different. Some people have more muscle already. Some people have less muscle, so they may not get the same effect, the same side effects. They're not really negative side effects, but the same effects that happen. So it's a personal thing. The point is, when you start taking creatine, that's going to happen. Specifically, just regular creatine, and that's all you need is creatine monohydrate. You don't need any other crazy creatine. Now, I did see a question about creatine and HMB, so I will address that. But 100% we should be taking creatine. 100%. You just have to get through that phase, right? You have to get through that phase of you're going to be bloated. I'm not focusing on the scale. I'm not focusing on my belly fat, right? Or my belly right now because I'm bloated. I'm going to drink more water. I understand what's happening to my body because I'm taking creatine, but it's going to go away. Like, it's all of the mental things that you need to overcome. But when you understand stuff like that, like, that's why I like going through this with you guys, because when you understand, okay, that's what's happening right now. I'm cool. 4 to 6 weeks, like, I'm cool. And believe me, if you got to take creatine every day, no matter if you work out or not. Some people take it after their workout, which is great because creatine is going to help with muscle recovery. So after your workout, other people take it before their workout because creatine is also a performance supplement. So I used to take it before when I used to train Muay Thai. I used to take creatine before because it helped with my performance. Right now, because I have creatine in my pre-workout, I take it before because it's in my pre-workout. And so I just take it before. It's great. And so I'm getting the creatine in. And I personally don't take creatine every day because I don't really need creatine. I think I'm getting enough of whatever I'm, like my nutrition and supplementation. And, I'm not trying to get big and I've got a lot of muscle, so I'm good. But the point I'm trying to make is I'm still getting creatine in. But creatine is not something that you just take and not take. You got to take it every day in order to get the effects of creatine. But I would take it. Now, Christopher Lee Clavel talked about HMB. Love this supplement. I love HMB. HMB is a supplement that fights sarcopenia. So remember, we talked about sarcopenia, natural loss of muscle due to aging, which we're all suffering from if we're not training. Well, HMB, there's a study that was done, I think 4 or 5 years ago with the older population. Like, I'm talking like 70, 80, 90-year-old people who don't work out, and where sarcopenia is obviously accelerated at that point. And they gave them HMB, and don't quote me on this. Maybe someone wants to bring this up, but they didn't even work out and still didn't lose muscle because of the HMB. They took an HMB supplement. They didn't work out at all, and they still didn't lose muscle. It's a very powerful supplement. But yes, there's a combination of creatine and HMB. I'm actually even thinking about that as well, creating that, because it's such a powerful combination for us. Because for us, what are we fighting? Sarcopenia. What do we want to make sure that we, that we're always building muscle? We're strong. We have healthy bones, healthy muscles. We're creating an environment for good muscle, anabolic environment, right? An anabolic environment is what we want. A catabolic environment we only want certain times. So yeah, creatine and HMB is a great combination. We have creatine in our supplement, but in our pre-workout supplement, but I can't remember whether there's a company out there that has creatine and HMB. If you know it, Chris, please post it in here. It's a great supplement. And again, like, believe me, when I see these really high quality supplements, like bio-optimizers, which is why I created Alpha Mag 6, because the reason why I only put 6 in instead of 7 was because there's one that we really didn't need. And then this creatine HMB, very good. It's an inexpensive combination because HMB is expensive, but man, it is a extremely, extremely great supplement to take specifically as we get older. So there you go. All right. Another one is probiotics. And so I'm not going to go too deep into this because I'm going to post 2 podcast episodes back to back that we talked about gut health. So I want you guys to go and check those out. And then you'll see the importance of probiotics. It's a very, very, very crucial for our gut health, right? So probiotics will help. It's beneficial for gut health, which again, the gut microbiome here is responsible literally for everything. If we have an unhealthy gut, which most people do, based on so many different factors, stress, the foods we eat, our if we're not exercising. I mean, there's so many reasons for unhealthy gut. And so, but when your gut's unhealthy, it affects your hormones. It affects building muscle. It affects your brain. It affects your overall health. It affects your ability to fight off, infections and viruses. Your risk for chronic illnesses, increase. Your mood, your mental health, all of those things are here. Like I don't know if you guys remember the movie Osmosis Jones. Again, you guys are my age, so you probably had kids back. Thank you. Yes, there it is. You probably had kids back in the day that watched my kids who watched Osmosis Jones 9 million times every single day. Dad, can we watch Osmosis Jones? Dad, can we watch Osmosis? Anyways, that was with Bill Murray and Chris Rock, and that was about the microbiome. It's a great cartoon. It's a great movie. Anyways, the point is, go watch and listen to those podcast episodes, because I'm sure you guys all know the importance of having a very healthy gut and what an unhealthy gut does for us. But here's a problem with probiotics. There are so many different types of probiotics. There's just a lot of confusing information out there. There's a lot of probiotics that aren't great. We used to have a probiotic that had a case over top of it, because the one thing about probiotics is a probiotic supplement is sometimes it loses all of its power through the manufacturing process of processing probiotics. So we used to have do I still have it here? We used to have a case or a protective case over it, and then also BC30, the probiotic that we used in our protein back, and they also had that. So it's a protective. It protects the quality of your probiotic through all the manufacturing that it goes through. So yeah, supplement companies, probiotics is a big thing. It's a easy sell for most people who have gut issues, but that's not the greatest. But if you watch those podcast episodes, specifically with Dr. Chris, they have a probiotic super gut. It's called Super Gut. They don't send it to Canada, unfortunately, but it's a very, very, very good supplement that kickstarts pyruvate, which is the number one thing in your gut that you need to stimulate if you want a healthy gut microbiome, which is why I want you to watch listen to it, because I wasn't prepared to go that deep into it. But yeah, definitely. Other ones I'm just going to quickly go through. CoQ10 is a really good one. It's a great nutrient with antioxidant properties that help fight the free radicals that go around in your bodies. Great for energy production as well. Great for cardiovascular health. So that's another it's coenzyme Q10. A lot of times your doctors will throw you on that. It's great to reduce stress and inflammation. That's a good one. Vitamin B12. I mean, this is like another given. Great for testosterone. Great for cognitive health, nerve health, brain health, DNA. All of those things. We usually have it in our. And energy too. We have it in our testosterone supplement because we know how powerful vitamin B is. Ashwagandha is another great supplement, great for managing your stress, improving your energy levels, keeping that anxiety down. I used to have an ashwagandha supplement, fantastic. It also supports your testosterone levels. So that's why we put ashwagandha inside our testosterone supplement. Saw palmetto is another fantastic supplement because prostate cancer, prostate health, right? Prostate health. I'm actually going to be creating a joint program with the great Clark Bartram. It's going to be a prostate, I don't know what we're going to call it, prostate prehab, I believe. But it's for those people who are diagnosed with prostate cancer. 1 in 3 men. That's insane. Like, can you believe that? 1 in 3 will get prostate cancer? Some level of it? That's freaking scary. And I'm glad Sanjay, who's awesome, is taking it 3 times a day. Phenomenal. Yeah, saw palmetto is great, specifically for urinary function and prostate health. I mean, I go to the washroom two, maybe sometimes 3 times a night. And I do drink a lot of water, but as I'm getting older right now, I'm like, ugh. So I'm actually going to be doing the prostate test here. It's complete hormone, which has the prostate, total prostate test on this Alpha Zone test kit. That's our test kit, the Funksters test kit. And so, yeah, man, it's like it's now like I'm now thinking more about it. It's so weird that like as we're getting older, it's like, man, these things, yeah, like if you have family that's gone through this, yes. And I have a very, very, very close friend, Clark Bartram, literally. He is a legend in the fitness industry. I also have a picture here, but then whenever I want to grab it, it's never there. Anyways, you guys can check out the podcast episode where he talks about getting prostate cancer. It's insane. It's like Clark Bartram has prostate cancer. Is that crazy? So yeah, man. And if you don't prevent it now, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. 100%. Like he's pretty deep into prostate cancer. Like it's not, it's not here. It's like. It's not great. He's battling it, amazing, and he's incredible. He's my hero. He's crushing it, and we're gonna create a program around it. But man, saw palmetto. It's like, again, we put it in our Alpha Mojo. I put that in the Alpha Mojo. Well, we put it for other reasons too. But anyway, no, that is one that you should definitely. We got to start thinking about our health, man. We got to start thinking about what things in our family do we have? Like, heart, diabetes, prostate, colon. Like, we can't mess around, man. We can't mess around. And just supplementing isn't going to be the 100% answer, but supplementing is going to help us put us in a better state in order to prevent, fight. And then there's others like calcium and I'm gonna stop at calcium. But let me just quickly go through again the supplements that we should be using. And again, if you guys have other questions, it's the time to go. Multivitamins for sure, vitamin D3, K2, that combination, omega-3s like omega-3s, magnesium. I may have to bring back that magnesium 6, Chris, because I still use it every single day. We still have a couple of bottles here, so Mag 6 may come back. I also have to ask you guys a question about supplements in a second. Mag 6 may come back, but Biooptimizers, fantastic. Remember, you want to get a combo magnesium supplement because there's so many different forms of magnesium. You don't want to miss out, right? Remember, where most of us are deficient. Meanwhile, magnesium is responsible for 300, reactions that go on in our body. So we can't mess around with something like magnesium. And of course, testosterone levels, right? We got zinc. So zinc, very crucial for testosterone, but we got that in our testosterone. Protein powder, whey protein, grass-fed. I mean, I got it for you right here, guys. Just literally, you should stock up after this podcast or whatever this is, after this coaching call, just go get it. Like, I mean, and here's the last thing I'm going to say about the protein. It tastes freaking incredible. Like that was one thing that, like, there were a few things that when we were creating it together, okay, digestion has to be like at the highest quality. That's why we put BC30 in the first time, but now We have a digestive enzyme in there that helps with digestion so you don't get bloated. Number two, it had to be lactose free. Number three, it had to be stevia sweet, no sugar. And number four, it had to taste absolutely incredible. And that is key because it sucks when you have a protein powder that's got too much sugar to make it taste good, or one that doesn't have anything in it, like plant protein, pea protein, hemp protein, all the other shitty proteins out there that taste like shit. So this was like, it has to taste great. And if you've used salted caramel, cookies and cream, vanilla, or chocolate, lean protein, you know how great it tastes. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So get it. Creatine, again, just creatine monohydrate. Don't need to go crazy. If you want the creatine and HMB, you're going to pay a little bit more, but it is very good. Probiotics, again, listen to those podcast episodes before you go out and get a probiotic, because you're going to learn why pyruvate is what we want to ignite and what does that. Okay. And so you don't just want to go out and get a probiotic, although we do need something for the gut and they have something that's great, but listen to it, educate yourself, learn about why it's so important before just diving in, because I told you to. Coenzyme, a CoQ10, you can grab one of those. Vitamin B12, of course, that's another one that a lot of us are deficient of. Ashwagandha. So vitamin B12, ashwagandha, zinc, a lot of those things are in our testosterone supplement that's coming in 2 weeks. Saw palmetto. I mean, that's, we just talked about the prostate health, and 1 in 3 men getting prostate cancer is super scary. Super freaking scary. Yeah, and it's so funny because there's a study that was done in 2020 and analyzed 90 men age 40 to 65, that found that saw palmetto oil was beneficial in addressing the BPH symptoms and improving urine flow rate in men, which again, the BPH and urine flow have a lot to do with prostate issues. So, yeah, like the benign prostatic hyperplasia, which is BPH. I said BPM, but BPH. Yeah, and that's about it. So, magnesium for sleep. Yes, you want to know which magnesium you want for sleep? I'll tell you. But who's this? Mike Harris? Oh, I got something for you, Mike Harris. The magnesium for sleep is magnesium glycinate? Glycinate. Magnesium glycinate. That's the one you want for sleep. But again, you want all of them. You want them all. But let's talk about sleep quickly. I got 3 things to talk about. I just did a podcast episode with sleep expert Nick Lamb, and it was a 2-hour podcast, which, I mean, I could do a 2-hour podcast by myself easily, but him and I could have probably done a 10-hour podcast, because he's so, the education behind this was incredible. So we only scratched the surface. We talked about circadian rhythm. We talked about the 5 levers that are important for getting optimal sleep. We talked about sleep pressure. We talked about a bunch of stuff, and that was 2 hours long. But there were a lot of action items. There was a lot of things that you can implement right away to help. And there was a lot of education. And so we're going to do a couple more for sure, because there's a couple more things we need to talk about. We didn't even get to scratch the surface. The reason why I'm bringing that up is at the end of that podcast episode, how I love to, guys, how I love you guys very much. You guys are my brothers. I love to see the transformations that are happening, both physically, both health-wise, both testosterone, just everything on a holistic, I can't believe I keep using that word, basis. I love seeing it. The education, like, I love when I see this. And so I like bringing things to us that will help us. And so I proposed to him, I said, can we do a 6-week sleep challenge? Not right now, but a 6-week sleep challenge where we could, can't wait for it. Okay, good. It's a 6-week sleep challenge. Oh, wait, we need at least 100 people to say yes. So if you are in the Facebook group, there is if you go pinned to the featured, there's a couple of clips from there. But what I proposed was, let's do a 6-week sleep challenge. The first one's going to be live, right? So every week, live coaching from Coach Nick. He's going to be there. He's going to give, he's going to teach, give us an implementation action, and then Q&A at the end of each one of those. Plus, he's going to add some other resources. Plus, we'll probably have like daily emails that give you guys things to do to help optimize your sleep. So because he said to me, I said, listen, if we're doing this, these guys have to get better sleep. Like, I don't want to just do this like, oh, here's an educational thing. No, it's like, if you do this, you're going to get better sleep. 100%. He's like, 100% that's going to happen. So I'm like, okay, let's go. So no, everyone's going to be at a different spectrum when it comes to sleep. Some people are getting great sleep. Some people think they're getting great sleep, but they're not, which is something that we addressed in this podcast episode that will be coming out next week. So it's like one of those things. It's like, oh man, like, sleep is one of those levers that affect everything. Like, if you changed one thing right now, and you had the ability to change one thing, only one thing, to help with your health, like to pick from nutrition, from workouts, from whatever it is, if you chose sleep, the benefits are astronomical, because sleep is connected to so many things when it comes to our overall health, our, everything. Like, I mean, it's everything, and it's free. Like, it's free. Like, you don't have to pay for anything in order to start the process of optimizing your sleep. Anyways, I'm not gonna. I'm telling you, this is a game changer. And what really brought this to my attention was when Angela and I traveled to Texas. So we landed in Dallas. Okay, we rented a truck. We drove 9 hours to Big Bend National Park, which is in the middle of nowhere, in between West Texas. Stayed there. Then we drove 6 to 7 hours to Austin, Texas. Stayed there. Then we drove back up to Dallas. I had to present, one of the keynote speakers to present, so I had to be on. And this was a 10-day extravaganza. Okay. The one thing that came to my attention was that we got absolutely incredible sleep. At least I got incredible sleep everywhere we stayed. Hotel, Airbnb, in that pod on the mountain. If you guys saw the pictures of us in that pod in the middle of the mountain, right? We stayed there. In an amazing, beautiful Airbnb, back up in the hotel. Our sleeps were incredible. Now, we went to bed at 7 o'clock every day, but that's just part of the process. And what came to my attention was I was more like, my body was leaner from, and remember, we're traveling all over. We're not eating 100%, but because we're getting so much amazing sleep, first of all, just my physique wise it's like I was training every single day. Number two, our energy levels were on point. I mean, we drove, when you're driving 9 hours in Texas is not generally a place where it's like driving the Rockies, driving Utah, driving Big Sur, driving up in Oregon, driving, Grand Canyon. This is like Texas, and then, but we had energy. Our mood was incredible. Like, we both were just happy, and just like everything. And, everything just, I was on point with my freaking, with my presentation. Like, it was like, we've gone on many road trips all over the world, like 10, 15-day road trips. We've gone everywhere almost. We're about to do another one. This one was in regards to like the feeling and how I felt and how we felt and the things we were able to do. Number one. And the number one reason was sleep. That became very, very apparent to me. We got amazing sleep. So that's why I wanted to bring Nick on quickly. That's why one of the things we talked about last month was, making sure that you go to bed at the same time and get up at the same time. But there is a lot of nuance that happens when it comes to sleep, Mike Harris. So just taking a supplement, I mean, that's like the last thing to do. Like, there's so many other things that we need to address when it comes to sleep, and you're going to learn about that in that podcast episode, but also during that thing as well. Yeah, most long and board. Yeah, it's definitely long and board. You're gonna get it through the sleep challenge. But yeah, that's great. And one of the things I'm always taking too is sleep shred. So I also took that as well while we were traveling too. Our alpha sleep shred. That's a great supplement, by the way. I know I just said not to look for supplements, but that is an awesome supplement, because I said, if your focus is starting to get good sleep, and because the fact that sleep is such an important aspect of overall health, like all these different levers, let me just see if I can quickly bring it up, that even starting with a good quality sleep supplement, like not melatonin, because what generally happens after you take melatonin when you wake up is like you feel like you've been hit by a freaking truck. It is the worst feeling when you're just taking a lot of sleep aids, which is why when we created Alpha Sleep Shred, I wanted to make sure that that didn't happen. Like that was another one of those things where I'm like, man, I got to make sure that if we're getting up from sleep, after you wake up, you don't feel like you got hit by a bus. So things that sleep affects. So longevity, your health issues and chronic health. So if you don't get 7 to 9 hours quality sleep a night, it's going to affect your health issues, chronic health, obesity, hormonal balance. You're not going to be able to increase your T levels naturally if you're not getting sleep. Just hormonal balance, like estrogen, cortisol, ghrelin, leptin versus, HGH, testosterone. Your energy levels are going to be sapped. It's going to be almost impossible to burn belly fat and fat. Muscle growth. You're not going to be able to build muscle. We just talked about that. Performance, not only in your workouts, but also performance at work. Your mental health, just being happy, pain management, injury prevention, all of those things, plus way more, are all predicated on sleep. Like if you could literally optimize a lot of those things I just talked about, getting 7 to 9 hours quality sleep. But here's the thing, a lot of people, it's not just duration, it's quality. But anyways, we're not going to go down that road. All right, guys. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Great to see you. Peace out, everyone. Have a great day. Get it done.